I want to share with you guys today how we helped Luke, who's a client of mine on the Central Coast, raise $10,000 for Central Coast kids in need. Now, I know that everyone's ears pricked up when I made mention of this in a Facebook post, and I know even more so that everyone's ears pricked up this morning or last night even when I put this into, g'day Jamie, hope you're well, buddy, and welcome aboard too. I know everyone's ears pricked up when we talked about raising, again, money for charity. I know everyone's ears pricked up again as to just how we did, and everyone was sort of very curious about how we did it. So before I get to that though, for those of you who are new on the call, watching the recording, tuning in for the first time, guys, we do these of a Monday, as your mentors would have spoken to you about. There is a great series of trainings and videos that you can go back and have a look at, everything from the starting point of helping you to set your business up and set the fundamentals of your business up from scratch, right back to week 1 and 2, to where we are at today, helping you to set up an event to be able to obviously raise some money for an amazing cause that obviously will affect us all if they don't get out of this trouble. So let's get into that. So how do we do it with Luke? Now, I know, actually, I'd probably want Jess to get here. Does anyone know how far away Jess is? There she is. She's back. Cool. Okay.
I'm listening.
Awesome. No, that's good. That's good.
Lee?
Purely and simply because I think what might be the best way to approach this, guys, would be to actually have something that runs studio-wide, so runs across all of the PLCs. So what I'll do is I'll give you the template and the outline of what we did with Luke, and then you'll have an opportunity for you guys to even team brainstorm on a Sunday night. I think you do your other team calls. You might team brainstorm this. We can brainstorm some ideas in the chat and see how we go from there. So Luke, who is a client of mine on the Central Coast, he has a great studio. Now, guys, the reason that I know this works is because he has a studio very similar to what you guys have, in the sense of great group fitness facility, does do PTs, does have some PTs in there. So the model that we have here can really work from a studio perspective. It's also a model that I used to use in my own studios as well. So what we did was, so first step, obviously you guys have decided who you're going to raise some money for. It's the farmers. Luke decided to raise some money for a charity that's very close to him called Central Coast Kids in Need. So that was the first step. We decided what charity that we wanted to raise money for. The second step was, okay, so what do we do? How do we raise the money? Now, guys, the best thing that I would suggest to you would be to collaboratively, as we've just discussed, collaboratively come up with an event that you can do across your studios. So that might be a Super Saturday. It might be a boot camp. It might be another form of group training session. It might be, as Luke did, we chose a fun run. Luke's in an area where there's a really cool little 7K, I think it was, little 7K loop. So we decided to use a fun run. Okay. The thing with this, guys, and the thing to be mindful of here, if you do something, we want to be choosing an event that absolutely anyone and everyone can do. A fun run, people can walk. A boot camp, people might, a boot camp that is kept very, again, beginner focused, I think could work very well as well. But we want to do something, we want to think about something that absolutely everyone can do. Okay. So we created the event, or we developed an event. Now, what we also wanted to do, given that we had the kids involved, was we wanted to have a theme to it. So what I will do is I'll share with you very quickly. And this is in our chat thread here. What we had was a superhero fun run. Okay, given the kids love their superheroes, etc., etc. Now, it was very, very simple. We kicked the fun run off at 8 o'clock in the morning. We had a jumping castle, we had face painting, we had food stalls, we had a barbecue. We opened it up to donations, and we set it up in a way that everyone who participated could get some sponsorship. Okay, so again, just touching on the important part of the event. A, it was something that everyone can do. B, it was something that was themed. Now, guys, you might do a boot camp where everyone has to dress in a flannel. Might be, again, really simple but really effective. Or they've got to train in a hat or something like that. the third thing was that we wanted to be able to make a real event and a day of this. So as much as we had that primary focus of the event, obviously we wanted to have some extras to it, and we'll go through those a little later. Okay, so now I've popped this in the group chat. The other thing that you'll see, guys, is that we actually had a registration link here for people to register, so that, and hence how Luke was able to generate an extra 50 new leads. I think he had more. I think we had about 150 people who registered through his link here. Okay. Cool. Let's come back to here. There we go. Okay. Third thing was, what we had to work out was, how were people going to be sponsored? How were we actually going to raise the money? Okay. So the beauty of doing a fun run was that people could get sponsored per kilometre, or get sponsored just for doing the run. Okay. The second thing was, and obviously being linked with a charity, the second thing, of course, that we could do was take donations from local businesses, from people in the local area, et cetera, from clubs. But what we wanted to do was to have more than one way that we could raise money here. So it could be from the perspective that people that come to the boot camp obviously give a donation. So it might be a $10 or a $20 charge to do the boot camp, and that's their donation. What we also had, some raffle prizes. So people went around and sold raffle tickets on the day too. Okay, so that was part of the prizes that were up for grabs. And as I say, the other thing we were able to do was to get some local businesses to donate money to the cause. Okay. Rolling on and keeping on the theme of local business, obviously the fourth thing that we did was looked at ways that we could get local businesses involved. Okay, so whether they came and participated on the day, whether we actually gave them the opportunity to be a sponsor of the event. Okay, so we had a tyre company, we had a supplement store who actually co-sponsored the event. Now, the beauty of that was that they paid a fee to be a co-sponsor. Okay, so again, another fundraising idea. So they got their name and their branding on the day as well, and obviously they were able to use the marketing material to boost their own profiles as businesses. Okay. The next thing we did, now really important step here, I know that we're not necessarily raising for a charity, but down the track, if you want to raise money for a charity, what you will need to do is get a permission to fundraise request. That's just a little note that, Jess, you probably want to keep a note of at head office if anyone wants to do this going down the track. Now, if there has been a particular organisation set up, what I would encourage, so Jess and Scotty, what I'd encourage you guys to do is liaise with them. Let them know what you guys have come up with collectively as a team. Hey, this is who we are. This is what we want to do. This is how we see it working. They will give you potentially, again, they may give you a permission to fundraise form. Now, the beauty of that is, guys, the more that you get these guys involved, the better. Because the beauty of this is that you'll be able to use their networks. You'll be able to use their social media pages. You'll be able to use their networks. Now, I would anticipate that with what's going on at the moment, that you probably find that there are a lot of local businesses that are starting to get interconnected with organisations like those that are, again, set up to help raise particular funds, or that are set up to support the farmers. Okay, so you may find that there are some channels there that you can utilise as well. Okay, once you've done that, obviously the beauty of that, as I say, is that you can then start to look at who or what they have in their potential network to be able to add to the day as well. So as an example, with Luke and Central Coast Kids in Need, Central Coast Kids in Need were able to help with the face painter and the jumping castle because they do fundraising events all the time. The other thing was that they obviously had a very extensive database that we could market our event to. Okay. Is that making sense so far, guys? Thumbs up. Everything's making sense. Bud board. Yep, cool.
I just have a question, Bo.
Sure.
In terms of that, like using the charity that you've decided to donate to as a database, the charity that we've decided to donate to it's called Burrum K Runners, and it's just like a charity that all non-for-profit, and they just like are farmers that want to help other farmers, and they like donate all their trucks and their trailers and their time. So, but their target market or their like network is nothing to do with PLC. Like, can we still somehow utilize that, or
100%? Because what we'll be looking for is people who are followers and friends of to be able to then to obviously market to those people. So so from that perspective, even if it was an email with a flyer of what we're putting together, they would be able to share it through their own email databases, social media networks, etc. Okay, so again, the beauty of the network, it will be a bit of a flow-on effect. So as much as you'd be directly talking to the farmers themselves in terms of, hey, this is what we're doing, and they will have a network from that perspective, they're also going to have friends, family, other colleagues, etc., that will be, again, located more locally, who they could promote this to. Okay. I think the other thing too is with people, I guess with the awareness and the heightened awareness of what's going on and what's happening at the moment, you'll find that there'll be people that are checking out different social media pages, fundraising pages, etc., looking for what they can do, how they can help out. Coming to one of your boot camps and spending $20 might be one of the best things they do. Okay. So think of the flow-on effect, I think, is probably the bigger one there. Okay. Now the extras on the day, as I've sort of mentioned before, we had face painters, jumping castles. I think there ended up being a petting zoo. We had local businesses come down and do stalls. So I know you guys have a great association with Prana. They might be someone that you look at, obviously using the bioscan system. So think about some of the businesses that are already connected with PLC. And if the worst case there was the fact that they were able to promote the event to their network, hey, it's a great start. The big thing here, of course, is exposure. How can we get this event out to as many people as possible? And here's the thing, guys. There's how many PLCs now, Jess? 14, 15?
12.
12. Okay, let's do some maths. If there's 12 PLCs and we have 50 people show up to this event in each centre, there's 600 people. Okay. If the 600 people donate $20 each, there's $12,000. Good maths. Good target too. And I would anticipate that most of the PLCs would have more than 50 members right now. There you go. So if 50 of your members donate $20 to do the boot camp, you could have each centre making $1,000 on the morning. Plus, of course, getting different local businesses down and donations from them and the like. You guys can have a lot of fun with this. A lot of fun with this. Okay? So, as I say, have a think about the extras. Have a think about the extras from the perspective of who it is that we want to bring down there. Guys, you might want to have DJs down there on the day. Again, knowing your target market. Yes, I know some of you look probably a slightly younger target market than what Luke had. So, I mean, if you did want to do the jumping castle and face painting stuff, you could. I'd probably more be anticipating DJs and a few more of those younger type businesses than the older ones, but that's okay. I'll leave that up to you guys. The marketing was the big one. Okay, the marketing was the really big one here. And as I say, the clever thing that we did was to be able to raise money in different ways. Okay, so obviously the first way was that everyone that registered paid a fee to be part of it. So whether they got sponsored per K or they gave a donation to be part of the run, you guys could do that in a similar format with a boot camp. Okay, first things first. The next way that we obviously looked at raising money and what Luke worked really hard on was some local outreach. Okay, to the local businesses, whether they wanted to be involved and be a co-sponsor on the day, whether they wanted to be involved and simply give a donation, whether they wanted to be involved and come down on the day. Lots of different ways that we looked at to be able to, yes, raise money, but probably more importantly, gain exposure to get more people through. Okay, so the big thing here from an outreach perspective, guys, was that we hit the streets and we worked in with just about every local business in his community. Okay. Now you guys have mastered social media from an ads perspective, talking to Louis before and the rate that Coomera's grown at the moment. Clearly what you're doing there is working really, really well. So yes, you'll be able to have that social media presence through your Facebook events, through your Facebook pages, through your own profiles, in local community groups. Okay. As an example, the beauty of obviously sharing something on the Gold Coast would be the fact that there's a location at Coomera, there's a location at Burleigh, any other ones on the coast? Help me out. They the two? Is there another one? Not just the two? Yep. There we go. There we go. There's Toowoomba, there's North Lakes, There's we've got one in Melbourne, don't we? Yep. So obviously you've got your locations nationwide. The outreach was the big thing. Now, again, what we looked at here was not just hitting the local businesses. The other thing that we looked at, and guys, here's one thing to remember. There will be a lot of other smaller businesses. There will be a lot of other local community organisations who will want to be part of something like this to have their brand recognised as one that is looking to be proactive and help out. So, for example, Luke was able to get a local football club down, and they were able to tie in and key into the event as well, saying that, hey, we were a part of this and we supported this initiative. We were able, as a club, to raise this much that contributed to the $10,000 that Coastal raised. Okay, so there will be local organisations. Now, guys, it could be local sporting club, local footy club, local netball club, dance clubs, gymnastic studios, etc. You might find that there are bowls clubs might be a good one, swim schools, etc. Okay, schools and daycares. I think all of the schools and daycares, it's in some way, shape, or form, are looking to raise money in some sense, be it through gold coin donations or the kids going to school in a flanny and things like that. So there are other little networks that you can tap into as well. The other thing that I would really encourage you guys to look at would be, so Jess, from your perspective, go back to the charity that you guys have sort of keyed into and see who they know. See, and because the beauty of this is you don't know who you don't know. So, and also you don't know who they know, or you might not know who they know. So thank you. So it might be things like someone who's involved in the charity has a local business network here, or knows some suppliers who can donate things to the studios on the day and things like that. Okay. So sometimes those donations in forms of prizes and things that can be there on the day can be just as helpful and just as beneficial. All right. So guys, that was the framework that we used. The rest was up to Luke in terms of driving it, in terms of marketing it, in terms of really hitting the pavement and getting it out there as much as he could. Now, you guys are great with your Facebook Lives, and you probably saw the video of him being the Hulk and he was all dressed in green with the superhero theme. It looked really, really cool. Something collectively where you would all dress up in your flanos and maybe do a short video amongst the studio owners would be a great thing. I think that'd be great fun.
Jess would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
He's already got the costume at home.
Oh.
Am I right, Jess? Have you got the hats?
Look out. So as I say, guys, with flanos, hats, again, now on the day itself, guys, of course, and look, we can go through this as we get closer to it. Now, the thing we did, again, just touching on from a marketing perspective, we did give it a good 3 to 4 weeks of marketing. Okay, we wanted to give ourselves time to really infiltrate and penetrate the networks that we knew that were out there. Obviously, it wasn't going to happen within a week, so we did have a good couple of week turnaround to make sure that we got as much exposure for this event as we possibly could. Okay, the thing that works in your guys' favour is that obviously this is more of a national issue than Central Coast Kids in Need was. So, from your guys' perspective and sort of working collectively as Team PLC, I can't see why a good target of 50 people through at $20 a head per venue, guys, you blow your $10,000 target out of the water. And I would anticipate that you'll probably get donations from local businesses, etc., coming through in your own unique studios as well. Now, the other beauty of this is, so that's purely from the fundraising perspective, and I'll just touch on this more from the studio owner's perspective, for a moment. The beauty of doing something like this is the fact that you're really taking the focus off PLC, and it's more the focus of, okay, we want to raise some money for the farmers. The fact that you're doing something, the credibility that ties in with doing something for charity is enormous. I mean, Luke's phone has rung off the hook from local media, so local print media, local news, so local TV media has run off the literally his phone's rung off the hook because it was just such a fantastic achievement. Now, the exposure and the credibility that's going to give you guys as studio owners is huge. But think about the light and the credibility that your business now gets seen in by general population. by the target market of people who you guys want to bring into your clubs. And I know that there are people doing things out there for the farmers as we speak, you know, Fiverr for a farmer and things like that. But to do something collectively as a team, I think, not that PLC wasn't on the map to begin with, but I think it's just another stepping stone along the way to really stamping your guys' place in the market and in the industry at the moment. So, and that's of course where the flow on effect from that is, oh, hey, I'm coming down on Saturday to do this boot camp. Do you want to come with me? And the flow and effect of that is that all of a sudden you've got 20 new people on your doorstep going, hey, we're here for the boot camp. Where do we sign up? Okay. Any questions, guys? Look, at the end of the day, it's quite simple. It's more going to be the collective collaboration, probably two words in one. I think it's more the collaboration of what it is that you guys want to do. As I say, I'm happy to, my advice to you would be to keep it really, like a fun run was something really simple. The boot camp where you're able to obviously run people through something that's, or you're able to be very flexible with people obviously not going over the top or working to people's needs, something of course that can be done. And I think, as I say, a simple donation for participating in that, wearing their flanos. And again, guys, the great social proof that comes from this, going live on the day, taking your group photos, tagging everyone in it, puts PLC in a really good spot as far as I'm concerned. So I'll open the floor to you guys. Who's got some ideas? Who's got some thoughts? Who's got some questions?
The only question I have is really around, like, from like corporate's perspective, how would we do this to ensure, like, I guess we're all doing it at once? Like, I don't know if you've ever like tried to herd scared sheep or like.
Yes. You know what? Not that I've tried to herd scared, but I know where you're coming from.
Like, how do I help and how do I guess, empower all of the club owners to do everything on the same weekend and why they should all do it on the same weekend, and then get them to listen to all of your tips and tricks so then everything runs smoothly and we all raise money for farmers? Because like, I love all of your like tips and tricks and ideas, and like it's great and it's amazing, but from like in my head I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to get like 13 or 12 like club owners to do that?
Good question. The simpler, well, it's for the farmers, so it's well, I think the thing is that it's another element of credibility for them as studio owners. So as much as there's the element of credibility there for PLC, everyone in their local community is going to look at PLC in a completely different light because of what you've done. So I think that's one bit. I think the other point that I would raise is by getting PLC out there and doing something that we know over time, the flow and effect of this will be more people in your studios, building better businesses, building a great culture. Louis had some great success with developing that culture at Coomera from what we just spoke about before as well. The thing for me, it's going to help with their retention. It's going to drive a wave of new people into their business, provided they do the work. And I think the opportunity to leverage off something that is a national, in fact, there's a couple of these at the moment. And I mean, this is a national issue. There's two really cool national issues out there at the moment. So here's some food for thought, Jess. The first one, of course, is the farmers from a charitable perspective. The other one is a government campaign running at the moment called Girls Make Your Move. It's a government initiative to obviously get young girls out there and moving. You could start them off, hey, come and join our boot camp for the farmers, if you wanted to tie the two together. Now, you don't have to, but it's food for thought. For me, the pros outweigh the cons with this in getting everyone together and on the page. For me, if they don't, they're going to miss out on A, the credibility of being part of something like this, B, a wave of new people potentially lobbing on their doorstep, C, the exposure that will come with this as a collective. So the exposure in the sense of people in their local community doing something that at the end of the day, they get you guys get no financial gain from this. But that's what people want to know.
Indirectly, I guess, though.
Indirectly, and that's where we do it smartly. That's where we're clever. Indirectly we do, but directly on the day, no, pay $20, all of this goes to the farmers. Oh.
People love that.
Exactly. Yeah. The day itself will give people an opportunity to see what you guys are all about as well. Okay. For me, the pros outweigh the cons. Yes, from a marshalling of the troops perspective, yes, can see the logistical thing. The logistics could be a little bit of a challenge, but for me, as a business and as a corporate from a corporate directive perspective, I think they'd be mad not to do it. And I think the exposure, and that would be the thing. We've got 12 clubs there at the moment. Let's say 8 did it and 4 didn't. Would be very interesting to see the 8 that did it and see where their businesses went after the next month or two there after the fundraiser as opposed to the other 4. So it might be a bit of fear of, well, you don't want to miss out. Okay. I think the other thing that really helps, you guys do a Super Saturday or Social Saturday already, don't you?
Yeah, every now and then. So some clubs choose to do it once a month. Some clubs choose to do it once a fortnight, or some just do it sparingly, like wherever sort of thing.
Yep. So, the other thing could be to keep it really simple. The other thing could be to set a Super Saturday for, I would say, a Saturday in September before the school holidays.
Do you know when the school holidays are? Or?
School holidays kick off.
Are they all the same around Australia? Because we have different school holidays in different states.
But Queensland's are earlier. Now, the Queensland school holidays kick off on the 22nd of September.
Okay,
so I would look. My encouragement would be around the 14th if you're going to do a Saturday.
14th, 15th. Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
And again, I think the simpler we make it, the better.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, most of the PLCs have a healthy enough. See, and this is the way you could keep it even simpler. Again, hey guys, as the only time this year, our Super Saturday for September will be on the 14th. Everyone's encouraged to encourage their members to bring a donation for. You could do it that way, to bring a $20 donation to obviously our cause to raise $10,000 for the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your flannel on the day. We'll give some prizes away. Bring some people with you, and you could keep it really simple from that perspective, if you wanted to.
Rather than having like a link to sign up or something, just have Super Saturday.
Rather than having, I guess, the parent event for it all, you could have a directive from you guys, and then I would leave it up to the studio owners just as to how much they want to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you guys from corporate can only educate the guys on the pros of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess from a team building perspective, obviously you guys will be encouraging it, 110%. I think from the whole team PLC perspective, I think those who didn't do it would feel left out.
Mm.
And I can't see any reason why I can't see any reason why they wouldn't do it.
Yep.
Because the pros far outweigh the cons.
For sure.
In fact, I don't really see a con. but that's just me having, of course, the success that we've had with Luke a couple of weeks ago, but also having done it ourselves. It makes a big difference.
Of course.
It certainly makes a big difference to the fabric of your business as well. When you know that, when the members know that, hey, you know what? Yeah, as much as these guys run a great ship, they also do some things that aren't necessarily directly for them.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly, it is.
Builds more like and trust in, I guess, your clients.
Correct. So you think about the marketing campaign that you can run not just before, but more so after.
Mm-hmm.
From a PLC perspective, you've got all this social proof of people going live on the day with a boot camp full of people in flanos. You've got group photos being taken. You've got people taking selfies on the day, and hey, look what we did. Da 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 da. It wouldn't surprise me if it got some airtime through. Like I say, you can send this stuff into shows like the Today Show and Sunrise, and they could potentially come and be part of it. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But that's just the scope that this sort of stuff has, because you're doing it for someone else. It's not directly for your own business.
Mm.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
So that's how we did it. I'm going to leave it up I'm going to handball to you guys now and leave it in your corner, because, as I say, for me, the simple formula with this would be to have 50 people in each facility on the day paying their $20. as an example. Now, the other thing from a corporate perspective, Jess, that you might like to consider is even making something like this an inaugural part of your business. So once a year, having an event that is a collaborative effort of Team PLC, whether there's 12 businesses, 16 businesses, 20 businesses, this could be something that you guys do collaboratively and collectively every year, and you pick a different charity depending on the year.
And then everyone knows every year it's going to come around. Every year it's like the biggest Saturday of the year.
Exactly right. And you know what? It might be a really cool way to kick off spring every single year.
Mm-hmm.
So food for thought.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I have some good ideas some days.
When are we dressing up as farmers fully? I'm excited.
When do you reckon, Lewis? Maybe I'm thinking if it's before like the school holidays, then the 15th or 14th, 15th, whatever that day is. I think that's probably the best day because that's like still 3-4 weeks away.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
It is. And I mean, the other thing too is from a networking perspective, as I sort of mentioned earlier, even the kids at school are starting to do some things for the farmers. I mean, some are doing fivers, some are doing 5 cents, some are doing bring this in, bring that in. I mean, the beauty of doing the beauty of this is that there is a great national awareness around it. It's not like it's who are they or what are they all about?
And so I guess because we've already started like our awareness, we've already started our like GoFundMe page, we've already got that going. So Absolutely. Then 3 weeks probably would be all right to be like, hey guys, this is our Super Saturday.
Absolutely. Now the beauty of the GoFundMe page is that you can collect donations from people who can't directly get there on the day, or from businesses that want to be part of it. And that's where I say those sort of supporting sponsors can be a great thing. I mean, these are people that can be on board every year. Okay, nutrition businesses in the local area, they can all get some airtime, all get some exposure, because they feel like they're really being a part of something bigger, which is good. All right. Cool, guys. Anyone else got any questions for me? Any more ideas? Apart from dressing in flanos, hats, and rocking up with a piece of straw hanging out of your mouth?
Fully's got us covered.
Drive in on a tractor. There you go. That's the last one. Awesome.
I could legitimately make that happen. So
this is true.
Yeah, well, Fully, not to get off topic with us, but we've got our 6-month giveaway this Saturday, which is the 25th. So yeah, I would maybe I'd say in 2 weeks, like the 8th or the following week, the 15th would be.
Yep.
I think the 15th is good because it gives everyone enough time. Like it gives everyone who's not on this call enough time to like get their shit together and be like, okay, we're going to make it the 22nd, the 14th, 15th. Do you think?
Yeah, just so you know, if you're wanting, like you said, for people to actually execute on it, if I was a club owner, you'd have to give me the steps of what to do, like as in how many businesses you had to contact them and shit like that. Because if you told me to do it and I didn't know how to, I'd make up a reason why I wouldn't. I'd find something else to do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louis, are you cool to have a phone call? Are you at the club?
I'm in Burleigh tonight, so I'm at my mum's at the moment, so I'm down in Burleigh, not in Coomera.
Kay, we have a call after this and go through some steps because we'll have your perspective as well.
Absolutely, mate.
Winning. Awesome. I'm going to get off the call so you guys can get on a call and start working this out.
Just for because I got a couple of newbies on here today. I've got Jamie, and Chloe and Britt as well. How did they get the old videos of yours, Bo? Just so
I will post my YouTube channel in the group and everything's on there.
Cool, easy. Well, Jamie and Britt, everyone, please go through and watch them.
Yep.
They're pretty much at stage 1. They need to start avatar, package, etc. Cool. That's what they need to do.
Yep. Easy, guys. The other thing that I'll do for those of you, and I know we do this from time to time, the other thing that I'll do for the new ones, guys, I've got a massive week this week, I've got a big week this week, but if you'd like to catch up for half an hour, talk about where you're at, obviously have a chat about what you want to do in the industry, etc., shoot me a private message after this call finishes and let's catch up early next week. Let's start talking through what it is you want to do, where you want to go, and then I'll even direct you to the videos to check out first.
Coomera and every coach on this, take him up on that offer. A lot of value to add. Thanks, Bo. Appreciate it, mate. Fully, I'll see you in about 2 minutes.
Pleasure, guys. See you soon.
Thanks, Bo.
See you guys.